Alright guys, I hope you're all having a great day. In today's video, I wanted to get into some really cool upcoming open world games that might not have been seen by many people yet, except if you've been watching the channel, because I love to cover games made by smaller studios who don't have the money to get seen. With the rise of the gaming industry over the last couple of years, the AAA games have took a hit in terms of actually creating something with heart, with money and agendas taking its place. Let's get into these open world games that you might appreciate and let me know which one in the comments. First off, we have got Little Devil Inside. What a perfect way to start the video. Little Devil Inside is no doubt in my top 3 most anticipated games for the sole reason of it just looking like a whole lot of fun after a hard day of work or school. This is a game that'll take you to a whole new fantasy world but will still have its roots and feel realistic in many ways. Set in a mysterious but not magical world, Little Devil Inside spawns muddy swamps and vast deserts, murky ocean depths and shivering mountain heights, foggy forests and icy tundras that crack and echo underfoot. As the main protagonist Billy, you find yourself part of Professor Vincent and Dr. Oliver's research team, leading expeditions to explore the surreal wilds and hunt beasties. The ultimate goal? To aid your contractors in building a comprehensive encyclopedia of all phenomenal existence. In the process, you'll find yourself stumbling across influential figures and various organizational bodies with discreet and secretive interest. Although the game combines action, exploration, survival, and RPG elements, then they are all treated with a lighter touch to make the project feel and look realistic. The developer also stresses this is not a loot slasher or roguelite. Little Devil Inside is a curated experience designed to have a vital feeling world. Billy has basic combat moves he can use to stay alive in the wild, but he doesn't cast spells or drink mana. You can simply build fires, cook meals, and create basic tools for defense, survival, and exploration. Out in the world, Billy can also buy items, gear, weapons, and upgrades, but it is a vast dangerous place filled with different monsters, all unique in their own ways and in very locations. The visual style perfectly suits the game's world, where the supernatural, science, and technology coexist. You are on a mission to create a monster encyclopedia with your 2 allies. Next up, we have Vigilance 2099, an exciting cyberpunk open-world action project inspired by both Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell, and for now, I really like what I'm seeing from it. It feels like a true cyberpunk project and makes me excited once again for what the genre has to offer. Vigilance 2099 is about an ex-fed that finds themselves at the bottom of a crime-filled city, taking any bounty jobs that come their way so that they can use their skills from the force to hunt down and kill or capture bounties for rewards. They think that they will find some answers by climbing up the criminal ladder and making deals with different mega corporations, but it is an extremely dangerous path to take, one that will be filled with different missions. The game will be decently sized open world. The city will be split into 3 distinct sections stacking on top of one another. The wealthiest at the top, middle class at the middle section, and the most unfortunate at the bottom. The developers want to avoid having a large world just for the sake of it. Making ground level of each sector feel tight yet content filled is their main goal. The true standout feature being worked on is what they call the Outlaw system. It is similar to the Nemesis system seen in the Shadow of Mordor games. It will allow bounty targets that the player has escaped to remember and have upgrades when the player seeks out that bounty again. Other game features are driving with air and ground vehicles, parkour, shooting, end-to-end combat, interrogations, hacking, negotiations, and more. I'm pretty excited to see this game's future. They plan to have Vigilance released on PC and next-gen consoles in the future. Next up, we have Stormrite, a brand new open-world RPG set in the dark fantasy medieval kingdom of Redreach. Start your journey as a young squire in a small town entangled in an ancient war. Learn about the secrets of the Stormrites while meeting a cast of fascinating characters from all walks of life, forming alliances along the way. With multiple endings to all quest lines and a rich character tree to decide how you interact with the environment and its inhabitants, you have the power to decide your role in the world of Stormrite, and no 2 playthrough will ever be the same. Across the land, there were drawings and scratchings on the walls that hinted at the existence of some greater being, a being that could control time, the earth, the underworld, and anything else the human mind could perceive. There were drawings of it creating tornadoes, raising demons from the earth, and stopping time altogether. This being was feared across the land, or worshipped. He is called Requiem. Stormrite allows you to explore a vast open world filled with interesting landmarks and civilizations, learning skills and traits along the way from the people you meet in your journey across Redreach. You will start off in the small mining village of Silverhorn, a quiet settlement that is being terrorized by bandits travelers attempting to take control of the nearby silver mines. Along your journey, your character will become increasingly entangled with the storyline of the Stormrites, potentially finding yourself in a position where you must save the kingdom from the terrors that could be unleashed by these powerful scrolls. Next up, we have The Feast. The Feast is an upcoming open-world action horror project where you and other people you have no idea about are stuck on a secret island where an extremely dark and creepy group has kidnapped you and now wants to eat you alive. This group is really strong and powerful in society, yet most have no idea who they are, nor do they care to know because it is very much past their limits of thinking. Here's the game's official description. The Feast is a horror roguelite sandbox. You've been kidnapped and taken to a private island where a grisly celebration is underway. Use stealth, the environment, and your enemy's tools and behaviors to fight back and escape. If you're captured, you will be eaten, and your captors will grow stronger. But you're not the only victim. Find and rescue allies, and when you fall, you'll continue the fight as one of them. Grow the resistance, hunt down the monstrous aristocrats who rule the island, and burn the beastly bacchanal to the ground. Bon appetit. Let me know what you think of it. Next up, we have Atomic Heart, a weird Bioshock Fallout-like open world project that is in my most anticipated games at the moment. It just looks so weird yet so awesome, and I love these kind of games that just try to create something different, and Atomic Heart looks to do just that. Atomic Heart is an open world action RPG, events of which unfolds in an alternate universe during the high noon of the Soviet Union. You are P3, a special KGB agent who is investigating the catastrophic event at a weird facility. A global system failure happens at the Soviet facility that leads machinery to rebel against the people. Your task is to eliminate the consequences of a large-scale accident and prevent the leakage of classified information threatening to destroy the whole world. You'll need to study the behavior of your enemies and observe how they relate to each other. Use the varied arsenal of arms and special abilities of your Palomir glove. Turn everything into a weapon, environment, objects, your own body, and even enemies themselves. Every fight will be different from the last, and you'll be able to explore the world through different vehicles and discover locations all unique and offering different enemies and secrets. Explore huge research facilities and test sites. Find out more about the employees and their ways of life and work. Uncover Soviet secrets, but note that death hides in every corner. You'll be able to create more than 30 types of melee weapons and firearms. Cassette cartridge and various modifications will help you use the environment to your advantage and exploit enemy vulnerabilities. Next up, we have Safeguard, an upcoming open-world tactical shooter project inspired by Ghost Recon and SOCOM, and as you do different missions in a world from the very early 2000s. Each mission will be unique and in different locations, with villages that feel alive, with locals that you can talk to, influence, interrogate, and also animals roaming around, vehicles to use, and more. The genre of Safeguard is tactical, dynamic sandbox shooter. The developer really wanted to focus on single player first only, with many different objectives to do and such and missions, and the multiplayer part is possible but will come later into development. The game will be all about trying to randomize objective locations and what the player is facing. It'll always be something different in each places of the map. The AI groups, which are the enemies, will follow rules where and how they appear. The captured locations, guard posts, special structures like prison, factories, and roads will affect where the objectives appear. The AI will also be patrolling and doing their daily things, meaning they might not always be at the same place. The player will be able to build campsites and other things like this that the developer wants to keep a secret for now. You'll be able to take prisoners to those campsites. Next up, we have Bleak Fate. This is a truly exciting open world project that I cannot wait to play when it releases, and is heavily inspired by Dark Souls just as an open world. Explore the Omni structure for the first time ever. Rich in atmosphere and rife with danger, be prepared to be immersed in a new world unlike any you've experienced before. Not every path is paved and catered to you, so be prepared to run, climb, leap to ascend in Bleak fate. The combat is dangerous and will push you to your limits. Positioning, timing, and resource management are all things you must keep in mind at all times. Expect to be challenged. You'll be able to choose a class and progress into your perfect playstyle, but remember, not every choice is reversible, so decide wisely what direction you take your character in. Also be prepared for memorable boss fights with unique soundtracks. Bosses ramp the danger levels even higher and ensure a thrilling ride to the manifold sectors of the Omni structure. They expect about 20 hours of gameplay on release, with more to come in updates, which is huge already. Some choices in the game are irreversible and do affect your playstyle choices, like class-related abilities and character stats, so at some point you have to start to decide what your focus is on if you want to get the most out of a build. In terms of bosses to fight, they're hovering in the 10 to 20 range right now, but they really want them to be unique without recycling, so they'll see what they can do with it. Next up, we have Drake's Odds Survive, a weird funny open world alien game where you have to survive with other players in a human world that do not want you. Drake's Odds Survive is a multiplayer survival game in which the main character is an alien from the planet Exomon who must survive on the planet Earth, which is hostile and unknown to him, finding, crafting, and using the powers and technology in his possession. The game is set on the lush island of San Tekla, which consists of 64 km square of beautiful landscapes that you can explore with terrestrial vehicles such as cars or quads, or extraterrestrial ones such as spaceships. The alien, finding himself trapped on an alien planet in order to survive and find a way to come back home, will have to quickly learn to know the surrounding environment. Therefore, he will use his powers to steal knowledge from humans that will allow him to learn new recipes for the construction of objects, weapons, tame animals, and everything else that's useful for his survival. Fight against or ally with the other factions, but you should always watch your back. In Drake's Odds Survive, danger is around the corner. What appears to be harmless bird could turn out to be the spy of the enemy clan studying your movements, which could be another player. Finally, we have November Eve, a beautiful open world RPG with many different dragons. November Eve is a single player, first and third person action role-playing game. The story is rich with fantasy narratives and plays with ancient, historic, and philosophical archetypes. You will find many enemies to fight and many NPCs and locations to explore, from the highest mountain peaks to the depths of the abyss. You will be able to collect unique weapons and armor and fight your way through the vast landscape to uncover the story behind your awakening into this land. You can also ride dragon, of course. There's not much information about this project yet, but it do look really promising, and it's all being made by one single developer. For one person to create such a project is amazing to see, and I'm definitely supporting it. Alright guys, that will be all for today's video. If you'd like to see more compilations just like this on the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay tuned, and I hope you will all have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks to Richard Westfall, Bruce Wayne 236, Thunderbeard, Kian Zofagari, Rickno23, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Spacebeard Gaming, and Rash Singbati for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents only by clicking the join button below. This will support me and the channel as a whole to continue making videos on the games that truly deserve it.